thunderstorm warning for us. Our first here of this system right into Granbury, Texas. And a severe thunderstorm means you could have winds to 58 miles per hour. You could see hail an inch or more in diameter, and that can cause damage even to the roof of your home or your car, and heavy rainfall with this. Everything is moving eastbound with this. We have seen some storms all the way over into Burleson already this morning, and that hail over an inch in diameter. And so this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Look at this line of storms, and it is creeping northbound, getting into the suburbs there of Fort Worth, also into Dallas, here into Mansfield. We have another severe thunderstorm watch, and you might be looking at the radar saying, what in the heck is going on here? No conspiracy theories needed. This is the actual radar site. And so as it shoots that beam out, it goes in a circle there. And so that's why you have that circle right there. So it's a little deceiving, but that's what's happening there. The storms are rumbling through here. I-20, I-30 about to get hit with this, and a lot of lightning. So you might be up early this morning because that lightning woke you up, woke up your kids, woke up your partner, woke up your pets, and everyone's kind of hopping in bed. One little batch of convection right there, but we will see more of it as there's a lot of oomph in the atmosphere, a lot of forcing, a lot of moisture. Moist air is buoyant air, especially relative to dry air. Moist air is actually more buoyant. A couple things, and here's this little piece of energy here that is going to be one of the culprits for the severe weather today. Now, Jim is going to show you a little bit later the big storm that's coming in tomorrow, and he's going to show you the same energy map. So look at this piece of energy, and then when Jim shows you this same map, you're going to see this huge piece of energy rolling in. So it gives you a little comparison of what we're dealing with and why today we have storms. It's there, but it's not as strong as the next one. There's your boundary coming on in. That also gives us some lift at the surface. And by the way, the energy I was showing you is a little bit higher up in the atmosphere. Rain's going to come in. Rounds of rain also gives us the threat for flooding. And we do have some winds to energize these storms. But the setup as we head into tomorrow is looking a lot different. And Jim will break that down for you. What I will say is we do have some of those stronger upper level winds. They really intensify tomorrow, and there's a reason for that. And then we also have a low level jet that just screams right into the area tomorrow. We don't have that today. So we do have some of the ingredients. We have enough to put together a meal, but tomorrow it's going to be a big one. So as we go through the day, you'll see there's a few thunderstorms rumbling into the afternoon. As we head into the early afternoon, this thing could be cranking out the hail. We could see wind damage with this, all of these little kidney bean shaped storms coming through with the wind, and it continues as we head into the evening hour. Look how it expands as we head into the overnight hours, and then we pick up with our next one tomorrow. Jordan?
Yeah, so I want to zoom in. Fun joining us now to chat about this. So to recap, we had a train derailment, and there was, I don't know how much toxic chemicals that were spilled. They ended up burning it into the atmosphere. So where do we stand as of right now in terms of cleanup?
Once they take it out of Ohio and they bring it to, say, Houston, what do they do with it there? They just dump it into the ground, or are they putting it into some sort of...
Where was it going originally, I guess?
Right, that should have been the question we were asking, like, what is supposed to happen? So the EPA has
What we've been hearing is yes, yes, and yes, but then some of the local residents are like, well, here's what's coming out of my sink, and here's the fish that are right here. So where do we stand right now in at least East Palestine?
In East Palestine, I think
we want it to go a lot faster than sometimes it possibly can go, which is really frustrating. Let's talk about the grocery stores actually pulling water off of their shelves. Are they worried about it?
Well, I don't know if they're worried about the bottled water.
Right. Well, she's going to stick around, which we're so excited about.
We're so happy that Heather's finally in studio with us.
Up next, we're going to talk to her about recent extreme weather events and what it means for you and your family to stay safe. All right,
speaking of extreme weather, we've got it not only today, tomorrow, but also into Friday, Felicia.
That's right. We have a multi-day.
Everybody this week brought a string of tornadoes to the heartland, and we're still seeing that, more of it today and into tomorrow. But we know it injured more than a dozen people, and at the same time, we saw feet of snow fall across the West Coast, giving weather whiplash to so many of us.
Yeah, but it's becoming more common thanks to our changing climate. Heather McTier-Tony is here from the Environmental Defense Fund, sticking with us here now to talk about severe weather, because this week's tornadoes hit a region that's accustomed to seeing it, right? Oklahoma. But now we're starting to see tornadoes and extreme weather in places that we don't typically, especially for February. Illinois, Ohio recently.
Absolutely.
You know, are we going to see more of this as the climate continues to change? Is Tornado Alley going to be shifting into the Midwest?
So unfortunately, not necessarily tornadoes. So the way that we learn to be a part of climate response now is changing and shifting because of climate change.
Yeah, and the problem, well, I wouldn't say the problem is, but what we're seeing also is a big shift in people moving all over the country. California's going here, people going to California, so you might be used to tornadoes and not used to wildfires. How do these communities embrace the change from their move or just from the climate?
So DC and Puerto Rico, and then 67 of the most populated cities in this country are also eligible for about up to $1 million to help us to do some of this climate resiliency planning to worst of conditions, but making some of these small changes. If solar is available in your community and there are now tax incentives to be able to do that, look at that as a viable option. Moving and transforming our energy grid, moving to electric. I know, a lot of people.
Let's hope so. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about your book.
Hey.
It's coming out soon, or is it just released? I can't remember the date you told me.
It's coming out right before Earth Day
that's
this
right,
year.
Earth Day.
Yes, really excited about it.
So tell us about it. How long did it take you to write? What was your thought process behind it?
Absolutely. So before the street lights come on, it is Black America's call for climate action. And I wrote the book because I found that there are other aspects of life. So if it is working on issues of extreme heat, which also speak to some of the disparities in housing, or if it is health disparities that we're talking about and dealing with, all of this is intersected into so many aspects of faith, of a wonderful collection of stories from my journeys as being an elected official.
And, right, as I say, speaking of your journey, you did not start, you know, as a climatologist or, you know, an environmental injustice advocate, but you've made your way there and you're doing incredible things, Heather. And we're so happy to have met you today. You've been on the show so many times in person. We hope you come back.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be welcomed back. So this is wonderful. Thanks so much.
Heather McTeer, Tony from the Environmental Defense Fund. Don't forget to get her book here before the streetlights came on. Black America's Urgent Call for Climate Solutions. It comes out on Earth Day, but you can pre-order it. Who doesn't love good pre-order?
Right. For more stories.